Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Saturday, April 22nd at Keeneland. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, who is running a couple of contests this weekend. And before we get into picking horses, Jim, tell the folks about the contest you have going on Saturday for this card we're talking about.
Yeah, Saturday's still open. We did not limit the number of contest entries for that, so it's a $400 in. You get a $250 live bankroll, and you can bet it any way you want inside Keeneland's races. So win, play, show, exacta, try, super, plus daily doubles. And whoever comes up with the most money wins. I'm going to have probably 300 entries, so something like that. First prize gets a BCBC worth $10,000, and the probably next 3 or 4, depending on the number of entries, gets an NHC for the National Handicapping Championship in Vegas and a shot at $800,000 next January. So if you're at Keeneland on Saturday and you want to sign up, it's at Wagering Central on the first floor grandstand right across from the big tote board right next to the wagering line. So you can sign up and pay $400 and take a shot at winning $10,000 or a spot in Vegas.
Sounds good. Let's get to the Saturday card, in which the feature is the Grade 2 Dixiana Elkhorn Stakes for older runners going a mile and a half on what figures to be a soggy turf course. And, Jim, this is a big field. Mike Maker has 4 in here, and it's hard to find a standout. Plus, you add in what will likely be off turf. This is a tough one. Who did you land on?
Yeah, if we go all, I'll be happy with a soggy turf course. That means we've kept it on the turf. I mean, it looks like 100% chance of rain on Saturday, so you got to handicap this race both ways. If it comes off the turf, I like Red Rifle for Pletcher, and the horse got a lot of back class, has run in Grade 1s before, almost won the Sword Dancer at Saratoga at a mile and a half, and has some good form on dirt when he's off or when he's just run on Aqueduct's turf. He had a mile and a quarter back in 15 and ran a 106 buyer, so ran behind FNX that day. So I think Red Rifle is going to be my choice if it takes off the turf. If it stays on the turf, it's a lot tougher because there a lot of horses have a shot. I like Danish Dynaformer for Atfield. I like Red Rifle still on the turf. Mike Maker's Bigger Picture, the 5-horse, has a real shot coming out of the Mac Diarmid at Gulfstream. Only got beat a half length to Wake Forest and Patterson Cross. So a lot of class there. On the outside, Charming Kitten to Glebe, the 8 for Maker, the 9 for Maker. Maker has a lot of shots in here. And Chocolate Ride for Brad Cox. I can make a case for a lot of them. I'm sticking with Red Rifle if it comes off the turf. If it stays on the turf and it's soft, I'm going with to Glebe for Maker. Charming Kitten has a shot as well, and Red Rifle has a shot even if it stays on the turf. It's a wide-open race, though, if it stays on.
If it comes off, I'm with you on Red Rifle. Otherwise, the one I went to was Charming Kitten, trying to find a horse that's got a little bit of a price here in such a wide-open race. And I think, given that his 2 races here in 2017 have just been so-so, I think you'll probably get every bit of 6-1, if not more. And I think on his best day, this horse has got a big shot. He's run well here. He also has run on a less than firm turf course one time, ran pretty well there. He's had 5 works since that last start, and that was the second off a pretty long layoff, and now he's had 5 works in him since then. And I think this horse, Le Peru, rides, which I like. He's very good on this turf course. So I'm going to go Charming Kitten, put him in a 5-horse exacta box with Taglebe, Bigger Picture, Red Rifle, and also I'll throw in Danish Dynaformer. Pick 4 starts in the 7th race, and I couldn't find a single. I went to Enchantera to lead this off on the class drop, one here in the fall, but I'm going to use Stone as well in here, and I'm trying to keep the ticket manageable. I could be talked into going deeper, but I'm going to use those 2. Jersey Street in the 8th race, so that his dirt races on his form are very good. Going to use Aquamarine, Bam Bam Brian, and Lenstar. I'm going to use all 5 that I mentioned in the Elkhorn. And then in the last race, Golden Domer has run well versus some good ones down at Gulfstream. I'm going to use that one. But I also want Clever Serve the 9 and Awestruck the 2. So I'm going 2 by 4 by 5 by 3, and I think that's $60 for 50 cents. How about you?
Not much different. I'm going to go 2 deep in the first leg with 5-6. Enchantera is my top choice, as you stated. Westfest for Asmussen, dropping from an $80,000 allowance back to a $50,000 claimer. Paco Lopez has done well. He's 4 for 16 at the meet. And if you toss the last race, assuming he didn't like Oaklawn and just didn't run his race, he's got a real shot. And Long Station came back and won on Arkansas Derby Day, so he was in pretty tough there at Oaklawn, but went off at less than 3-1. So I'm going to use Enchantra and Westfest, 5-6 in the first leg. I like Jersey Street as my top choice in the 8th, but I'm also going to use Kidnap. Dane Kabisky scratched out of a race on the 20th to run in this race, and the horse has only been out one time at Gulfstream on the turf, going turf to dirt, but is working really well. So I'm going to use Kidnap the 2 for a price in 7 Jersey Street, so go 2 deep there. I'm also going to use 5 in the Elkhorn with the 2, 3, 4, 8, 11. That'll be Danish Dino Former Red Rifle. It's in the post, the 8 to Glebe, and Chocolate Ride the 11. I would probably add Charming Kitten the 9 in there as a 6th horse if I can afford it. And then last race I'm going to stick with 2. Awestruck is my top choice for Rusty Arnold. Had a fast pace last time at Gulfstream and drops back to 7 furlongs. It always suited him just perfectly. Went off at 1 to 5 at Gulfstream. She did. And then the 7 horse is my other horse, Golden Domer, the one you mentioned for Brendan Walsh. So I'm going 5, 6 with 2, 7 with 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 11 with 2, 7. So that should be somewhere around $24.
Best of luck on your Saturday wagers, and we will be back another edition of this podcast for the Sunday card. Remember, if you're a Keeneland Select customer, that Sunday is Keeneland Select Appreciation Day. If you've not already signed up, we've got a nice program for you on Sunday to come out to the races. That's this edition of the End the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.